Well, welcome back, Luke Graham, past Poppy from years gone by, back with us now as the academy head for the under-16 and under-21s, and also playing your craft at Brackley Town.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. I've been speaking to Richie for a few years and keeping an eye on the club and how it's reformed. Obviously, it's still Kettering Town Football Club, which I'm delighted about. But seeing it now, it's coming together quite nice. I think Richie's done a fantastic job in putting infrastructure in place, and then hopefully now I can add to that and use my experience as a player and now as a coach and drive it forward and link all the youth teams together and push forward and get players ultimately into the first team.
You've gained a lot of experience playing a lot of conference clubs since your departure from Kettering under Mark Cooper, and before that Merrill Mason. What brought you back to Kettering? As I say, John Dempster also is in a similar role, was at Mansfield Town. I'm not quite sure if it's still at Mansfield Town, but it's a similar sort of role as yourself.
Yeah, I think basically I've always done my coaching badges. So when I was younger, I did my level 2 with my apprenticeship at Northampton. I've always had a keen eye on what managers have been doing, obviously played for some successful managers. And it comes to a point where I did a degree, a sports journalism degree, managed to get first class honours, which was fantastic through the PFA, while I was at Hereford United Football Club. And while I was there, I was honing my coaching skills. I've completed my A licence when I was 25, so I was one of the youngest in the country to do that. And rubbed shoulders with coaching managers, and it got to a point where I wanted to go part-time for a lot of reasons. Obviously, money reasons at Kettering years ago, and then financial...
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, and financial problems at Hereford as well, to be honest. And it got to the point where I was 28. I've loved playing full-time football for the best part of 12, 13 years. But I felt the right time to pursue my coaching as well, alongside the football, of course, I'm still playing. And I went to a college, Malton College, and was doing their football academy for 3 years. And speaking to Richie on off, and I'm waiting for the right opportunity at football club, because when you've had money problems as a player at clubs, it's an unstable sort of living, to be fair. You're going from contract to contract, and you know, in the lower leagues, the monies aren't fantastic as a coach, you know, because obviously you've got to work your way up and cut your cloth, so to speak, and get some experience. So from that point of view, the college was a stable move for me to use my experience there. Obviously the college kids were getting the mentality of what professional footballer needs to be, getting the right environment, playing around with tactics, playing around with coaching methods that I've learned over the years. And at Malton College, to be fair, when I went there, it was literally come through the doors, 2 arms, 2 legs, and you were on the course, to be honest. You know, we do, it's an accessible college. But I quickly made it more competitive, put it into 3 squads, built the numbers up, done a bit of scouting, recruited a few lads from Peterborough United, and made it more elitist, and we made our way up to the top college league. By the time I left the college, it was in a, you know, well, to be honest with you, Tresham around Northamptonshire, the best college for football. I'm sure the head of sport, Dan Burns, don't mind me saying, we beat them 5-1 before I left in a game. That was the marker from when I started at Malton 3 years ago, that, hang on a minute, we're competing with the best locally college now, and that's through the environment that I've created at that college and the standards that I expect as a coach, as a player, and being a good role model for players coming through. And that's what I'm going to transfer over to Kettering. I want to progress as a coach. I get asked a lot about management, as you do as you're getting older. And of course, I'm interested in management if the right opportunity comes along. But ultimately, I want to get better as a coach, gain more experience as a coach and manager. And, you know, yes, I've got my top coaching award. I'm doing my top coaching youth award at the moment. They call it the youth module, so I'm due to complete the FA Youth Award at the end of the year. So, you know, I've not just played. I'm actually getting all the qualifications that I need. And the only one I'd need to get then is called the Pro Licence, which is dealing with chairman like Richie, and whether he wants to put me on that course is a different matter. But so I'll not only have the experience of having football and playing, it's important that I've got all my badges, and you know, yeah, so I'll drive my car at the end of the day. Just because I have all my top badges doesn't mean I'm going to be a great coach. But
the under-19s this season, they finished runners-up in their division, which was your first season. You say you only had a sort of small squad to choose from, so next season expand on that?
Yeah, we're in a transition period where Steve Kinney-Burke obviously got it off the ground. There's a relationship with Kettering Science Academy, what they built up. And I've come into it and had a little look at where we're at the moment. And if I'm honest, you know, as an academy, we're nowhere near where I want it to be. It is starting blocks. I want it to be a lot more competitive. I want it to be a lot more selective. I want more quality players. But of course, it's not easy when you have Corby, you have Russian Diamonds, you have Northampton Town. Northampton have a shadow squad where obviously they entice players to say, you know, you could become a scholar through this route. And you have Eddie McGoldrick at Crystal Palace with Thomas Beckett. So there's a lot of competition for players around Northamptonshire. And if I'm honest with you, it will take time to get to where I want to be. And I know that before I took the job on. But we're making a new partnership with Kettering Academy from September. Obviously, I've got some fantastic facilities there. The principal, lucky enough, is an acquaintance of mine. I'm going to build on that with the A-levels, and we're going to keep the BTEC courses that we run at Latimer Park. So we will have more players next year, which will create competition, which will mean we'll have 2 squads straight away. And again, it'll be based on attendance, how they are as a person. They're massive, you know. If you see a lot of managers now, years ago, it was all about do they score goals, how quick is a player, how powerful, skillful they are. Now it's what they're like as a person. I speak to a lot of managers in the off-season, right now, in the Conference North, and I think we get to my age, you know, sometimes you build good relationships with managers and they trust your opinion, and the first thing they'll do is they'll ring you about a player and say, what's he like as a person? And that's massive for me. You know, I'm a good role model. You know, no one's ever squeaky clean, we all have our faults, but I try and set the right examples, I join in when I need to, you know, with the fitness, and I'm on top of it. So they know if I'm on top of my fitness and what I'm doing, then that's the level that they need to be at, and that's important. So setting them standards for the kids is massive, and being a good role model. And I think with 2 squads next year, with more competition to get into that top squad. And like I said, I'm happy to drop my best player. If he isn't turning up, if he's not doing his college work, he can go into squad 2.
Talking over your best player, one of your players, Jack O'Connor, won the Richard Butcher Foundation Award and has played for the first team last season and was very good in his position.
Yeah, I think Jack's got a great chance. You have this chat about, and we're in a great position, by the way, when you look at Jack O'Connor, Ben Baker, Ben Bradshaw. You know, when I was coming through, there wasn't a lot of young lads around, to be fair. You have to be Chris Stefantes and players like that, that went on to play UCL football. And to be fair, I think we've got 3 good players there that I've walked into that have got a chance of making a living.
Of course, Bradshaw's coming back from his injury, isn't he? So that will be interesting to see how he develops from that, being such a young lad. But hopefully, being young, he should be repaired quite well.
Yeah, his injury's healed. He's had tonsillitis and things like that to his age problems. But I've been able to, since I've come in since February, I've watched the 16s twice, I've watched the 18s twice, I've watched the 21s twice. And liaise with the managers and really tighten it up. Jason's done Furland, he's done a great job getting it off the ground and getting it together, and we're going to work closely together. I'm working a lot hard on the 16 to 21s, obviously that's important. He's looking at the low end, but we're working together and knitting everything together and having regular meetings with managers and coaches now. And yeah, going back to them 3 players, you know, for me I work obviously day-to-day basis with Jack. You know, I do think he's our cream of the crop at the moment, and I do think he's got the best chance in terms of his not just his ability, but his attitude's getting stronger.
It's important for you youngsters, isn't it? Attitude. Too often you see younger players who put the shirt on once and think they've made it and then just disappear.
Yeah, I think, listen, we could be had a long conversation about young lads today, and I'm sure at your age you look at my age and my age look at 16 year olds, and it's going to be a knock-on effect. But let's be honest, there's social media, there's technology. You know, life is full of wonders out there. You can do lots of things with life that I can do at my age and you can do at your age. And it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's making sure that it's that hunger that you're looking for. And I think, you know, young lads are weak mentally, and they won't like me saying that, but at the end of the day, I love a laugh and a joke, but I've got a ruthless streak, and I think you need that to have a coach and manager, and I will tell them what's what, and they need to be told, because ultimately I think it's too easy for someone who hasn't been a professional footballer or a semi-professional footballer to turn up and watch a game of football that's on a Saturday, not gone well, and slag players off and say he's rubbish and he's rubbish. But what people don't understand is that it's a commitment. Even at my age now, going on 32, I'm still working hard to play at the best level I can do and be as fit as I can. I want to play against York City and Stockport next year and be the best player on the pitch. And I work hard off the field to keep myself fit alongside this job. And it's a discipline. It's a mentality. The amount of Friday nights of sacrifice, Christmas dinners, you name it, even at this level, to still get well paid part time, it is a discipline. And I would argue with anyone down the pub that we have these. I always have a wry smile, because you'll get the guys that will say, "Oh, I played at Villa when I was 10 years old." Well, fantastic. But what happened at 11, 12, 13, and all the way up to your mid 30s? That it's tough going on your body, And John Dempster's the head of Mansfield Town now, and I speak to him regularly. He retired early because of his Achilles. I've managed Achilles problems, and it is a discipline, and it's hard work. I mean, don't get me wrong, full time. There were times when I was younger where I'd do a few hours and then I'd go and cost a coffee and things like that. Don't get me wrong, but that's a luxury that you can afford as a footballer. However, I know how hard it is on a day-to-day level to stay at the best level you can, to keep getting contracts. It's a dogfight out there, and you have to be very, very strong mentally. And I think sometimes it's easy to overlook that. And the way England is with the amount of leagues there are, it's easy for footballers to get paid in our leagues, and that's why in Spain, Italy, Germany, there's not as many leagues out there, and obviously that's why they come over to England, because you can still get well paid at my level. You can get full-time wages at my level, and I think from that point of view, the younger players now are spoon-fed. They're given things too early, and as you say, that mentality changes. I went to an A licence course years ago and met a Scottish professor called Wyatt, and he told me, it's fantastic on a psychology point of view. He worked with Fulham, Arsenal, all top clubs. And he said to me, Luke, when's the hardest year you've worked in football? And I said, hand on heart, obviously I'm going to say every year, but it was when I was 17, trying to make it as a professional. I was living at Malton College, trained the first team at Sixfields. Obviously it was a commute. I'd get the bike, and Colin Cole said, Luke, you can have the bike if you want it. I had a bike, I'd put my rucksack on, and I'd cycle every day to get to training. I'd be there early, and it's the hardest year I've ever worked in my life to get that professional contract. Of course I've worked hard since, I've had to, but when I look back I think, I really wanted it that much. Then when you get paid a sum of money, your mentality, no matter how big or small that sum of money is, your mentality will change slightly, because suddenly you are getting paid to do that, and of course the rewards that come with that. And that's hard to keep that mentality how it was when I was 17, and I think I've kept it quite close. Yes, I could have played a little bit higher, everyone's going to say that, but I found a consistent level to play over 500 games, mainly at conference level. Yeah, people might say I found the level, but to keep getting good clubs at that level and get paid and let's be honest, have a full-time job out of it, it's been tough, and there's been times where at Kettering, things haven't always gone well, and Mark Cooper, let me go, and I went to Mansfield, and I had to make a career elsewhere. Every year it's no different. I'm going back to Brackley next year. We had the second best defence in the league last year, and I want to be the best defence next year, and I want to get another year, whether it be Brackley or somewhere else the following year. And that's the mentality you have to have, and unfortunately not enough young players have that now, and it's my job, people like myself, Darren Purse at Rushden, Steve Keeper at Cooke, it's our jobs to produce more players, and I do think around Northamptonshire we've had a lack of that over the years.
Well, finally, really, Luke, if players want to listen to this, watching this, want to actually get involved, how would they do that?
Well, the main thing for me is that the ages that we're looking for, obviously it's always from under 7 at Kettering, because obviously we want them through the system. But ultimately, when they're leaving school at 16, what we're offering at Kettering McClure Academy, what we're offering at Lattner Park, is a full range of courses, A-levels if that's what they want to do. If they don't quite achieve 5 GCSEs, we have the BTEC. Some, like Jack, he's a bright lad, he's chosen the BTEC anyway because he thinks that sports course fits better to become a footballer. And what I'd say to them is that if they want to come and learn and become a better person, learn how to be a better footballer and the disciplines required to be a better footballer, then certainly, my email address, find the football club. We've got a Twitter page, we've got a Facebook page. We're easily accessible now.
Poppies TV.
Poppies TV now, exactly. So we're easily accessible, and come and do it. And all I'd say to you is, I don't promise anyone they're going to get from A to B. But believe you me, after 2 years, they will be a better person, they will have better life skills, and they will understand the requirements it takes to be a footballer at Kettering Town and another football club, and that's important. And whether they're there to enjoy the football and just get better, and they will do. And hopefully Jack O'Connor, we'll leave it on that with Jack O'Connor. I think he's someone now, the pennies dropping, he's had that taste of first team, he's going back in pre-season with the bit between his teeth, and he understands, well, hang on a minute, I played holding midfield, I played centre half, I played right back. And I've told Jack, you remember right in my career, when I came at 18.
You were a goalkeeper, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played centre half for a large period, but I've got to play left back, I've got to play right back. And I didn't always like it, I didn't want to play there. But
you scored a goal at Telford, if I remember right.
Yeah, but I was centre half that day. But I did, and you have to adapt as a footballer, because ultimately, if you want to get in a position that you want to against all these experienced players, you have to go through that as a footballer. You have to go, right, I will play wherever you want me to play, because at the end of the day, I've said to Jack already, at 17, I told him to Google in England how many 17-year-olds are playing first in football at any level, and he'd come back with not many. I said, so from your point of view, whether you play goalkeeper up front, wherever it may be, you keep getting experience and add your appearances up. And next year's a big challenge for him, because can he make more appearances than 5? Can he make 20? And that's what he's got to set himself. And if he does, it won't be just Kettering he'll kick on. And Richie probably won't like me saying this, but of course other clubs will be looking, because he's a young player. And I've told him that, and that's got to be his incentive. Can he get in Kettering's team on a regular basis next year?
And that should be every player's incentive. Can they get into Kettering's team next year and the future? Well, thank you, Luke Graham, for your sterling views there on the future for the under-19s and Kettering youth in general. Great to have you back at the club. Hopefully one day back playing for us, maybe, even at 32 years old. But you never know. You never know. And we'll be speaking with Luke throughout the season for his views on how things are going in the 2017-2018 season. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.